Good evening, everyone. It's dark, but it's time. Tonight we're going to play Lone Wolf number 8, or book number 3 from the Magnakai series. But before we start, today is the anniversary of the Lone Wolf universe, 40th anniversary. So, happy birthday, Lone Wolf. And thank you to Joe Dever and Ben Dever that brought us the original Lone Wolf series and the new definitive edition that we're playing tonight. Without further ado, the story so far. You are the warrior Lone Wolf, last of the Kai Masters of Summerland, and sole survivor of the massacre that destroyed your kin during a bitter war with your age-old enemies, the Dark Lords of Eldjadad. Many centuries have passed since Sun Eagle, the first of your kind, established the Order of the Kai. Aided by the magicians of Desi, he completed a perilous quest to find 7 crystals of power known as the Lore Stones of Nixator. Upon discovering them, he unlocked a wisdom and strength that lay within both the Lore Stones and himself. He recorded the nature of his discoveries and experiences in a great tome entitled The Book of the Magnakai. You have discovered his lost Kai treasure, and you have given a solemn pledge to restore the Order of the Kai to their former glory, thereby ensuring the security of your land in the years to come. However, your diligent study of this ancient book has enabled you to master only 3 of the 10 Magnakai disciplines. In order to fulfill your pledge, you must complete the quest first undertaken by Sun Eagle over 1,000 years ago, and find the Lore Stones of Nixator. By doing so, you, too, will acquire the power and wisdom of the Magnakai, which is held within the Lore Stones' crystal forms. Already your quest has taken you far from your northern homeland. Following in the footsteps of the first Kai Master, you journeyed to Desi and sought the help of the Elder Magi, the magicians who aided Sun Eagle in his quest long ago. There you learned that one of the 7 Lore Stones was still present in their land, hidden deep within the island stronghold known as Khazad-dûm, or Castle Death. In the years since Sun Eagle first came to the sea, the fortress of Khazad-dûm had become the abode of a great but evil sorcerer called Zada. The Elder Magi, realizing the danger of Zada's increasing power, attempted to destroy Khazad-dûm, but they failed. In desperation, they constructed a prison of energy around the fortress to prevent Zada from ever escaping. Steadily, however, his power grew and the people of Desi lived in fear of the day when he will break free and wreak his vengeance upon them. When you resolved to enter Khazad-dûm to retrieve the Lore Stone, the Elder Magi rejoiced, for the success of your quest will bring about the destruction of Zada and put an end to the bane that had haunted Desi for hundreds of years. You survived the perils of Castle Death and emerged triumphant, achieving that which the Elder Magi had believed to be impossible. During the victory celebrations held in your honor, you learned that for centuries the Elder Magi had been expecting your coming. An ancient Desi legend tells of the birth and rise to greatness of 2 Kuratas Kai, sons of the sun. One was named Ikar, which means eagle. The other was called Skarn, which means wolf. A prophecy foretold that the Kuratas Kai will come from the north to seek the counsel of the Elder Magi in order that they might fulfill a great quest. Although separated by several centuries, they will share one spirit, one purpose, and one destiny, to triumph over the champions of darkness in an age of great peril. At the Temple of Truth in Eljan, the magnificent capital city of Desi, the Elder Magi prepared you for the next stage of the Magnakai quest. Lord Rimoa, the Speaker of the High Council, tutored you in the ancient histories of Magnamond, and you received lessons in lore that you would have learned from the Kai Masters, if only they had survived the attack by the murderous Dark Lords of Eldjadad. The lore stone you must find now lies hidden in a temple in the center of a jungle swamp, known as the Danarg. In ancient times, this huge area, once the crater of a massive volcano, was controlled by a powerful champion of evil called Agarash the Damned. The Elder Magi defeated him in a war that lasted 1,000 years, and in the wake of his destruction, they turned the Danarg crater into a rich and fertile paradise. It was the perfect setting for their most sacred place of worship, the Temple of Horido. The Danarg flourished until a great plague befell the Elder Magi and decimated their people. They were forced to abandon the Danarg and seek refuge in Desi. Slowly the Danarg was consumed by a creeping mire, which swallowed or poisoned all healthy forms of life. The crater became a sanctuary for a host of evil creatures who thrived in its fetid waters and fought for control of the treacherous, shifting mud flats. Many came from the barren hills of Ojia, but many more awoke from layers deep beneath the crater, where they had lain dormant since the defeat of their master Agarash the Damned over 8,500 years ago. Now the time for study has passed and the time for bold action is at hand. Grim news from the Darklands prompts the Elder Magi to cease their concealing and arrange for your immediate passage to the Danarg. In the Dark Lord city of El Jadad, a civil war has raged for 5 years following your defeat of Akon, Archlord of the Black City. Now, a new lord sits upon the throne of El Jadad. His name is Dark Lord Nyahag of Mosgoar.
The Dark Lords are united behind their new leader,
reports the solemn Lord Remoa to his fellow elders of the High Council.
And they are hungry for conquest and revenge. Their strength grows with each passing day. We dare delay no longer.
Silently, the members of the High Council rise from their seats and turn to face you. No sounds reach your ears, yet the words of their blessings fill your mind.
May the god Ishir and Kai protect you on your journey into darkness, Kor-Skarn.
They intone. Alright, so we can take a new Kai discipline for this adventure. We already have the Circle of Lore, well, of the Spirit, the Lore Circle of the Spirit. The most interesting one next will be the Circle of Solaris, which requires invisibility on mastery and pathmanship. The previous adventures, pathmanship and pathmanship came quite often. In a jungle swamp. I really feel like pathmanship will come around. Yeah. I think that's the one that sounds better for this adventure. Will I need? I think I need. Oh, that's not enough. 2 carrier returns. Oh, okay. Well, 1 carrier return then. Alright. So, Pathmanship. In addition to the basic skill of being able to recognize the correct path in unknown territory, well, a jungle swamp, quite an unknown territory, the Magnakai skill of Pathmanship will enable you to read foreign languages, decipher symbols, read footprints and tracks even if they have been disturbed, and detect the presence of most traps. It also grants you the gift of always knowing intuitively the direction of the north. We don't have any more backpack. Lost it at the end of the last book. Okay, the spatial items that we can carry on. Kai shield. We don't have a shield anymore. I guess we'll be able... how many items do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 11. The power key, well, it gives 2 endurance points. The blue spear, it said it was good against the Agarash creatures. In case that we don't have the summer sword, we'll bring that on. I'm going to leave the jewel mace behind. I'm not sure about the rest. The quiver wasn't really useful in the last book. It was way better in book number 6, well, in the fortress. With small corridors, yeah, not a really good place for bows. Well, now in the jungle swamp, I guess we'll see more action. We need a leather waistcoat that we dropped last game. We have 2 spaces. Stuff. Yeah, that's quite good. Okay, so we can bring Kai shield. We don't have crystal star pendant, padded leather waistcoat, helmet, chainmail waistcoat. Those are the same as before. Equipment. Your basic clothing comprises for this secret mission the common clothes of a roving adventurer. Before leaving Desi on your journey to the Danarg, the Elder Magi give you a map of the Danarg swamp at the front of your book and a pouch of gold. To find out how much gold, random number, D10, 7, well, we're full again. Total gold, the number, gold crowns, yep, we can carry them on, can only carry 50, yep. If your backpack, belt, or herb pouch were lost or damaged, you are given a replacement. Yeah, we need it. The Elder Magi offer you a choice of equipment to aid you on your perilous mission. You may take your pick of the following items, in addition to those you already possess, but remember you may only carry 2 weapons. You may take your pick of the following items, in addition to those you already possess. But remember, you may only carry 2 weapons, 8 backpack items, and 12 special items. You may take up to 5 of the following, and 1 meal counts for 1 item. Weapons, we don't need any weapon, we got ours back last time. Still have the large quiver. A rope, yeah, we need a rope as usual. We didn't really use it the last 2 books. Oh, I think once, yeah, I think we used it once in book 6 and it didn't kill us, which is a good thing. A rope, potion of lump spur, we don't have one right now. Yeah, let's write it down just to reserve a space. 3 meals. It's already 5 items. Fire seed, it's a special item. There's no shield, damn. Oh, I'd have to take the Bronin sleeve. I dropped my shield last time because I thought I could get one. Alright. Oh, that's bad. Well, I'm not at the monastery anymore, so yeah, Kai shield and everything. The fire seeds, not sure I really need them. And the herb pouch, but I don't have the discipline. And that's all the options. Well, that's 5 right here. Unless we take the fire seeds, I'm not sure it's really worth it. Option of Flum Spear. There's so many good healing items last time. Quite the basic backpack items to start this adventure. 3 meals. And yeah, let's bring in the bronze sleeve shield because we don't have a shield anymore. So that's 11 items, I think. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 items. Okay, we can only pick one and drop another one. And no leather waistcoat. Damn, I've been had. I thought I could get a padded leather waistcoat as well. We are so short on equipment. Okay. Well, let's try with this and recalculate our combat skill, experience points. Okay, so base combat skill is 16 plus 3 plus 11 plus 12. Where is the 15 coming from last game? Oh yeah, 2 there for the Psy Surge, and the other one must have been the shield. So plus 5, plus 13, plus 14. And for endurance points, we have plus 3, 7, minus 3, 4, 6, 8, and 9. Should write the plus though. Going to go take a look at the previous adventures just to be sure. I'm going to write the plus there. Yeah, I shall do it like that, I think. Base 1 was, I think it's 30, and we rolled 9 at the first. I think we should have 39. 30 or 29. Endurance points add 20, and we get 10 or because finished the first Kai series of books. So that's 39 plus 9, 48. Okay. I'm really not sure about the it's written in book number 6. Going to take a quick look. Uh, 20. You have successfully completed any of the previous adventures. You already have blah blah blah. You can heal, yeah, right. Pick 2 new numbers. We'll roll the new one. Oh, it wasn't added over. It was 20 plus the number roll, which was 9. And no added bonuses, but we could re-roll. Right, mistaken there. Good thing that I checked. I thought that 48 was a bit high. So it's 38. Can't get arrows neither. Alright, 38 makes more sense. 30 combat skill for this adventure and 38 endurance points. We lost 2 with the waistcoat and 1 with the shield. No, the shield was combat skill, so we lost 1 combat skill with the shield. Gain 1 endurance points with the brown sleeve, but lost 2 with the waistcoat. Yeah, otherwise we will have 39, I think, there. Okay, should be good to go with that. Yeah, our levels of Magnakai training. We are now tutelary. The rules for combat are the same as before. And the odds rules as usual. If we die, we're going to go back and take a previous choice. If we die in combat, we're going to take the free option if there's one. If there's none, we're going to go back, take a previous choice. If there's none, we're going to go through like if we won, so as to not play this book tomorrow morning. And there we are. Before we begin, a little bit of Magnakai Wisdom. The quest for the lore stone of Orido will be fraught with danger, for the temple in which it lies is situated deep within the rotting lands of the Donarg. Make notes as you progress through the story, for they will be of great help in this and in future adventures. Many things that you find will help you during your adventure. Some special items will be of use in future lone wolf adventures, and others may be red herrings of no real use at all. So try to be selective in what you decide to keep. Choose your 3 Magnakai disciplines with care, for a wise choice enables any player to complete the quest, no matter how weak their initial combat skill and endurance points scores may be. Successful completion of previous lone wolf adventures, although an advantage, is not essential for the completion of this Magnakai adventure. May the spirits of your proud warrior ancestors guide you surely and safely along the path of the Magnakai. For Summerlon and the Kai. Book number 8 of Lone Wolf and number 3 of the Magnakai series, The Jungle of Horrors. You leave Helgen under cover of darkness on a trading ship bound for Garten. It is a trim vessel, lean, proud, and simple in design, one of 1,000 such ships that sail the chain of landlocked seas and lakes dividing the northern and southern continents of Magnamond. Its passage along this great waterway, called the Tantarius, is unlikely to invite undue attention, and it is for this reason that the Elder Magi have placed you aboard. The nature of your voyage is secret, but you are not alone, for a guide has been chosen to accompany you on your dangerous mission. His name is Pydo, a tall, ebony-skinned, flaxen-haired vaqueros. He is a master of the art of battle magic. Among his fellow warriors, he is a high-ranking lord, respected and honored for his bravery and skill on the field of battle. Now, for the mission that lies ahead, he has exchanged his gold and scarlet robes for the clothes of a commoner, a roving adventurer with a sword for hire. It is a disguise that you, too, have adopted to veil your true identity on the long voyage to the land of Talestria, where a rendezvous with royalty awaits. You sail westward, a benevolent wind filling the triangular sail and skimming the ship swiftly across the still blue waters. The hull seems to slide over the surface of the water rather than cut its way through, and you cannot help but wonder if Pydo has conjured some magic to speed your passage. Your first port of call is the city of Talon, where food stocks and fresh water are replenished. Then the voyage continues along the Tantarius to the port of Orello, the last stopping place before your ship-bound journey ends at Garten, crown capital of Talestria. You may wish to note you have visited Garten for future reference. Oh, already, okay. It is an hour past midnight when you dock at Varnos Harbor in Garten, the sprawling network of quays and cragged stone jetties that shelter great fleets of merchants, traders, and dolls. Silently, like a shadow, you disembark and follow Pydo through the twisting harbor streets, slowly climbing the steep stairs that connect one level of Garten to the next. Rusty lanterns cast pools of yellow light beneath the timbered balconies, illuminating the stalls of merchants and vendors who will haggle, brag, and barter in the crowded streets till dawn. Pydo halts at an iron-shut door and raps the grille with the hilt of his blue steel sword. A man's face appears, stern and handsome, with smooth dark hair and keen, intelligent eyes. A smile of recognition softens his lordly features when he sees Pydo. In an instant the door swings open and you are ushered inside. The man's name is Adamus. He is Lord Constable of the Royal Citadel, protector and cousin of Queen Evane of Talestria. For centuries, a strong bond of friendship has existed between the royal household and the magicians of this sea, and when called upon by the elder Magi to help you in your quest, Queen Evane pledged her support without hesitation. She has volunteered the services of Lord Adamas, who is tasked with ensuring your safe and unhindered passage through Telestria to the borders of the Danarg. At dawn, after snatching a few hours' sleep, you are taken by coach to the East City Wharf, where an empty corn barge is waiting to ferry you upriver. Haulage is provided by 8 large Gorkis. These airy ox-like creatures from the plains of Slovia are harnessed to the barge by chains. They lumber along the cobbled towpath, continually kept in line by the stinging lash of the barge owner's Zol-eyed whip. The next day, the barge arrives at a small river village called Lona, where a detachment of Lord Adamas cavalry, resplendent in surcoats of scarlet and pale grey, provide you with horses for the cross-country journey to the fortified city of Fena. Ill news greets you in Fena, the city of triple towers. Zigran, warlord of Zanar, ruler of the barren islands of Ogia, has amassed an army of Drakarim warriors. 3 days ago, they attacked the border town of Lukos to the north. The Telestrian garrison put up a brave and spirited defense, but they were hopelessly outnumbered by the bloodthirsty Ogian horde that drove through the perimeter walls with battering rams and engines of war. The Drakarim razed Lukos to the ground, and only a handful of survivors escaped to tell of the dreadful battle. "The situation is grave," reports Lord Adamas, on returning from an emergency conclave of his fellow Telestrian knights. "For decades, Zigran and his minions have raided our northern territories, but never before with such determination and strength. We must mobilize our army for war, for it is war that Ogia has invited by this unforgivable attack on Lukos. I must return to Garton to muster my retainers in preparation for battle, and inform the Queen of the evil that threatens our realm. I can no longer escort you to the Danarg, though your quest must proceed in spite of all that conspires against it." He sends for his scribe, who arrives with helpers laden with the paraphernalia of his craft. He dictates an order of safe conduct and sets the impression of his signet ring into the hot wax seal before passing the parchment to you. Our northern people are frontier folk, wary and suspicious of strangers. If challenged, show this pass, and your safe passage will be assured by all we are loyal to Queen Evane. Mark this pass on your action chart. Special item. You need not discard another special item in its favor if you already hold the maximum number permissible. Okay. It is assumed that you do not discard it during this adventure. Well, I won't discard it. Will I lost it? Rather, will I lose it? It's another matter entirely. Early next morning, Lord Adamas accompanies you and Pydo to the main square of Fuena. It is from here that your quest begins. The first leg of your journey to the Danarg will take you north to the town of Taro, which nestles in the fertile uplands of Telestria. There are 2 ways of reaching the town. You can travel by road, or you can take a barge along the river Fun. Consult the map at the front of this book before deciding which route to take. So we can go to Taro by barge or by road. Here's the map for tonight. And forgot to add the token, or it's somewhere else. Oh, it's there. We're starting down here in Fuena. And we need... which one is the correct... Where's Taros? Oh, Taro is here. So we're taking the river just here, or the road north. By road or river. Last time in book number 6, made a nice river run. We had a friend at the time, or friend, mercenary captain, don't remember the name, but who gave us the run and sleeve. I'm filling river. Seems more chill. I really don't remember if Pydo is going to survive this. I hope so. You and Pydo bid farewell to Lord Adamas and spur your horses along the wide paved street toward the city's gatehouse. The wagon-worn highway leads to the village of Shar, a small wood-walled enclave of fishermen and bargees, built around a great stone bridge which spans the river Foyn. Might be here, not on the map though. You leave the highway and follow a twisting path down to the river's edge. There a barge is ready to leave for Taro. Its team of Gorkus are harnessed, and the crew are preparing to cast off the thick rope hawsers securing the barge to the quay. The captain sees you approach and calls to his men. "Hold fast, lads! Looks like we've 2 more for Taro!" A gangplank is lowered and the crew guide your horses aboard. As you dismount, the captain strides along the bleached wood deck and greets you like an old friend, shaking both of you warmly by the hand. "Lord Adamas sent word to expect 2 riders for this trip. Though I'd almost given up waiting for you to show. He's paid your fares and he said you may be wanting some privacy, so I've set aside a cabin at the stern. My lads will see to your horses." The captain points to the rear of the barge, where 2 sets of stairs descend below the deck. "Take the stairs on your left. Your cabin is the door at the end of the gangway. If you be wanting some food or ale, there's a tap room in the hold. Just take the stairs on the right." You can inspect our cabin, or go to the tap room. Yeah, I'm more the kind of guy to go to the room first. Many years ago, this craft sailed at Antarius. It carried cargoes of corn and linen to the merchant markets to the east. Now old and leaky, it serves in retirement as a ferry for the farmers and settlers in the north. The cabin was once well appointed, but little remains of its former glory. It is now a cluttered mess of decaying junk. The sweet smell of pitch and damp timber hangs in the air, and unsightly patches of blue-black mold discolor the walls. Lying on a solitary bunk amongst a tangle of leather straps, frayed rope and torn clothing, you discover a cork-stoppered flask containing a purple liquid. Is it where we say that curiosity killed the cat? can sniff the content or not. Let's sniff. Recognize the delicious aroma. This purple liquid is a liqueur made from the fruit of the Larnuma tree. It is very nutritious, and each draught will restore 3 endurance points when consumed. There is enough for 2 draughts. You wish to keep the flask? Record it in your chart. Yeah, we have so much space. Flask of liqueur. 2 by +3. And then we can go up to the tap room. The cloying smell in the cabin is unbearable, and it forces you to return to the deck to clear your lungs. From here, you can see the captain. He is walking along the river bank and inspecting his team of long-haired Gorkas. Stoically, they hold the barge upstream, rarely faltering as they tread the rotted and podal towpath. Beyond the bank lies an incredible array of colorful wildflowers, scarlet langpetal, yellow podlums, and violet mellow roots of towering proportions. Their perfume soon dispels the lingering odor of the cabin. The colorful fields give way to rolling acres of grassy plain, and gradually the sky grows darker until just a slender streak of light fringes the horizon. It is not long before you hear a roll of thunder rumbling across the landscape. "Storm brewing!" shouts the captain as the first heavy droplets of rain splash upon the deck. "You do best take shelter below." You balk at the thought of returning to the dank and dismal cabin. Fido suggests a visit to the tap room instead, and he offers to buy you ale. It is an offer that is simply too good to refuse. The hold is crowded with travelers on their way north. For most, it is a regular journey home after setting their ways in Foina. Their purses are full and their mood is jovial as they pass the time drinking and playing games of chance. One of the crew glances up from serving, wipes his hands on his apron, and hurries over to welcome you to the floating tavern. He points to a plank table at the far end of the hold that is bowed beneath the weight of several kegs of ale and earthenware platters of food. Ask if you will care for some refreshment. 2 jugs of ale, replies Pido, reaching for his pouch of crowns.
Certainly, sir,
replies the bargee in a servile tone.
I have 3 fine ales to delight your palates. Ferinanog, Chai Cheer, and Bor Brew.
Pido chooses a jug of Ferinanog. Which ale will you choose? The Ferinanog, the Chai Cheer, or the Bor Brew? It's always safe to take the same as the other one when we don't know. The ale is weak and watery, but at least it serves to quench your thirst. Fido takes a great mouthful and immediately spits it out in disgust, wiping away its insipid taste on the sleeve of his tunic. Bilge juice! He splutters, slamming down his mug with disdain. You shall be a sight more careful where you empty your mouth, stranger, growls a man seated near to your right. He bends down and picks up his polished steel helmet. With a slow and deliberate twist of his wrist, he empties it of ale, pouring the contents all over Pido's feet. Your companion curses and reaches instinctively for the hilt of his sword. We can either take immediate action to stop the fight, or do nothing, but we're incognito, we can't fight. You grab hold of Pido's sword arm and tell him to cool his temper. The man is wearing a red surcoat embroidered with a crest depicting a castle and an open hand. It is the uniform of the Taro garrison. Quietly, you advise Pido that to brawl with this man could endanger your quest. Pido relaxes and apologizes to the soldier. He offers to buy him ale to make amends. The man accepts the offer, but on one condition: that the ale is not Farina Nog. The bargee brings a round of chai cheer to your table, and you drink to the health of Queen Evane of Telestria. The mood soon becomes much friendlier, and you learn that the soldier, whose name is Trust, is on his way back to his post at the Taro garrison after enjoying a week's leave with his family in Fuena. As you drink your ale, the sound of applause rises above the hubbub of the taproom conversation. An elderly man, tall and distinguished looking, walks slowly to the center of the floor and bows to his audience. His pale face and silver-gray hair are a stark contrast to his richly embroidered robes of crimson and gold. He smiles warmly and introduces himself as Count Conundrum, the Prince of Puzzles. For your amusement, he will pose some brain-twisting conundrums. So confident is he that none will be able to answer his riddles correctly that he is offering 20 loon to anyone who can prove him wrong. Do we have a different type of currency here that I skipped over? He said crowns at the beginning, okay. If 1.5 geese lay 1.5 eggs in 1.5 days, how many eggs will 3 geese lay in 8 days? If you can answer the count's riddle, turn to the section that has the same number as your answer. Otherwise, if you cannot, turn to the other section. Alright, so if 1.5 geese lay 1.5 eggs, oh, that's a lot of 1.5. So 1.5 geese gives 1.5 eggs. In 1.5 days, how many eggs will 3 geese lay in 8 days? Three geese, 8 days. So 3 geese will give 3 eggs in 3 days. But they can give half eggs. Three geese will give 3 eggs in 3 days. In 8 days, 3 gaze will give 2 point something. Well, we just need to buy 2 everything there. Uh, 6 it gives 9, 5 that's 7.5. Such a wacky number. Fraction number. It's the same number of days. What I'm saying there. 3 geese is going to give 3 eggs in 1 day and a half. So in 8 days, still a wacky number. Three, 6, and a third of a day. It's the over 1. So it's by 5 and a third of a day. $15 and a third of a day is 1, 16. You call out your answer, and at first the man pretends not to hear. This is the correct answer to the riddle in section 126. Hurriedly, he begins to pose a second puzzle, but the crowd shut him down and insists that he answer your call. "A lucky guess," he says, flustered at the thought of losing 20 loon. "Perhaps our friend can explain how he arrived at his answer." You reply that the answer is simple. If 1.5 geese lay 1.5 eggs in 1.5 days, it therefore follows that 3 geese would lay 3 eggs in 1.5 days, or 2 eggs in 1 day. Thus in 8 days, 3 geese will lay 16 eggs. The crowd applauds your display of logic, much to the chagrin of Count Conundrum, who is obliged to part reluctantly with 20 loon. Record the loon in the belt pouch section of your action chart. 20 loon occupy the same space as 5 gold crowns. Okay, well, maybe we'll need loon down the roads. Loon or loon? Sure how they pronounce it. So 50 gold crowns and 20 loon. Oh. Such big number there. $45 gold, 20 L. Okay. Well, whatever. Very well, says Count Conundrum. Just to make our journey to Taro a little more interesting, if there is anyone here who can answer my next puzzle correctly, they will receive from me 40 loon. A chorus of delighted whisperings emanates from the crowd. In winter, he begins, the ice lilies of Lake Haddon double in area every 24 hours. It takes 60 days from the time the first ice lily appears until the lake is completely covered with them. On what day is the lake half covered with lilies? Okay, so doubles area every 24 hours. takes 60 days for the lake to be completely covered with them. And on what day is the lake half covered with lilies? It's on day 59. Everything else irrelevant. What little color there is in the Count's already pallid face drains completely away. This is the correct answer to the riddle posed in the previous section. The crowd hoots with delight as he nods his head slowly to affirm that you have given the right answer. As the ice lilies double in number each day, it follows that the lake is half covered on the day before it is fully covered. Begrudgingly, the Count hands over your prize, 40 lune. Record the lune in the bell pouch section. Your action chart. 40 lune occupy the same space as 10 gold crowns. I'm not sure it's a good idea to drop gold crowns for those lune. But we'll see, maybe. You have 60 lune now. I hope he doesn't have any more riddle. I don't have any more space in my pouch. Oh, damn. And finally, for my last puzzle, I offer this beautiful treasure, he says as he draws a small silver box inlaid with pearls from the pocket of his robes. This priceless artifact was stolen from the treasure hoard of Valborg the Enchanter, he exclaims earnestly. On hearing this wondrous revelation, the tap room comes alive with excited chatter. We are inclined to disbelieve the tale of the box's origin, but nevertheless, it is still a beautiful object and is undoubtedly worth at least 100 lune, perhaps more. Silence descends on the hold, as all await the Count's final puzzle. When I was last in the market of Garten, the Count begins, I asked an egg trader how many eggs he had sold that day. He replied, my first customer said that he would buy half my eggs and half an egg more. My second and third customers said exactly the same thing. When I had filled all 3 orders, I was completely sold out of eggs, and yet I hadn't broken a single egg all day. How many eggs had the egg trader sold in all? Oh, a treasure box is on the line here. So the first customer said he would buy 0.5 eggs, or the total of the eggs, and half an egg more. So 0.5 egg. The second and the third said the same thing. Okay, this one is a bit harder. Sounds like algebra. So if he buys all the eggs, let's say the guy had 20 eggs, he's going to buy 10.5 eggs. And so 9.5 eggs will be left. So the other one will buy 4.75 eggs. Not exactly. Yeah, no, that's right. 4.75 and a half. So 5.25. eggs. Which means the half of what the other guy bought. And the other guy is going to buy half of the remaining eggs, which is, for example, 4.25 and a half. So 4.75. That gives 20.5 eggs. Something doesn't account here. Actually, we should go reverse with that. The last one bought half an egg and 2 times more than 2 times less, which means that there was 2 times more. Maybe about half an egg, which means there was 1 egg there. But you can't buy half an egg, or the game doesn't care. It's quite strange selling half eggs. If only half egg was left. So 2 by 0 gives 0. So that's 0.5 minus 2x actually the y minus 1/2 x and minus everything afterwards. Algebra is so far away, so the other way around means yeah, that this minus this is 1/2 x plus 0.5. And that means one is 1/2 x plus 0.5. So that's 1x plus 1 simplified. So 1.5x plus 1.5 could be 3. Does 3 works? I think that 3 works. Yeah, because 3 minus 1.5 plus alpha, there's the half egg. So 3 divided by 2 is 1/2 plus an half egg, that's 2 eggs. So 2 split in 2 is 1 egg, and 1 egg and a half, and the other one is left with buying the remaining half. which is 2 quarters together. Alright, 3 eggs. Whew. Thank you. Advanced mathematics classes when I was in high school. The villagers give a spontaneous cheer when they hear you answer the old man's riddle correctly. This is the correct answer to the riddle posed in the previous section. Well done, he says. You are right. If the brick counterbalances 3 quarters of a brick plus 3 quarters of a pound, then a quarter of a brick must weigh 3 quarters of a pound. That's not the same. That's not the same. Was there another? What the fuck? Not even the same riddle, but there's no other riddles. Oh damn, there was another man giving different riddles on the Great Road. It's quite... So 3 isn't the answer and algebra didn't help at all. But perchance it's the answer to a different riddle in the book. Okay. Well, it can be pretty much anything that is a multiple of 3, I guess. Should have taken the Northern Road instead of the barge. Okay, let's try again. Half the eggs, so that's 1.5 x plus an half egg more. Oh yeah, I need to embed all that. Yeah. Yeah, so it's half of the previous sale. And the other one is half of the previous sale. Which gives 0 at the end. Okay. Can remove that 5 minus that 5, and everything else is divided by half. Not really half, but 1/2. That means this one is 25 to 25. And the 25 here and there as well. And then everything is divided by a quarter. So it's 1/8. and 1/8 there, and 1/8. That's 2/8, which is a quarter. There's a quarter less, and by 8. Doesn't work the other way around. One half eggs, all the eggs plus half an egg. So the man bout y minus that 5. It's the half egg that is half an egg more. So they bout 1.5 eggs extra at the end. But they were always divided all the way down. Ugh. Second man bout the quarters of all the eggs, and the other one bout 1/8 of all the eggs. And then they bout 1.5. But it's not really 1.5. There was 1.5 left around. So 1/8 and half an egg. There was at least 8 of them. If you bout 1/8. That means 4.5, 2.25, and an half more now. 4.5, 2.5, that's 6.7. Not really, because they're all half. The half and plus. So 3.5 is left. 175. Yeah, the half is pulling the all the shit down. So they're buying a whole egg all by their lonesomes, I think. Damn, the treasure box. I guess it must be the double of that 8 I'm getting around, because I need to split them in half all the way down. So that will be 16, and a half is 8.5, The other half for 25. That's 1275. And the other half is coming around. Yeah, I guess it's 16. Is it 16? 16 doesn't add up. I went to 16 before. Can be that. Was the other egg riddle. They don't have any other choice than buying a whole egg together. If I multiply every divider by themselves, that will give 65. I think I will have to forego the damn treasure box. I'm sure the answer is so simple. Always simple. Dim. If he has a dozen egg, for example, Alves, that's 6.5. Buys a 75 of a full egg. And the other way is 38. There an eighth of an egg left. They about 1.5 eggs together with the extra eggs, that's for sure. If you bought the half of the other one, which is, for example, 1, that gives a whole egg. So that's 1 egg for the third customer. And the previous one bought 2.5. That's 3.5 eggs. And the previous customer before that must have bought as well 3.5 for a total of 7. Yeah, 7 would make sense. I wasn't far with the 8. I had to go below instead of going over. So 7 eggs, the half is 3.5. And he bought a 0.5 more. So he bought 4 eggs. The second one bought half of the remainder eggs. Which is 2 and the half. And the other one is 1 and the half. And we're done. That's 7. Alright. I'm more confident with 7 than all the other. 3 was a good number though. The count looks flabbergasted when you call out the correct answer. This is the correct answer to the riddle posed in the correct previous section. Whew. Yeah, I need help with the maths. Algebra is so far away. Dejectedly, he hands over the beautiful silver box and quietly leaves the hold, seemingly oblivious to the cheers of the passengers who have seen him meet his match at last. Yeah, at last. Okay, silver box. I hope it's useful. Ah, is it a special item? I guess so. No, backpack item. Alright, so we can go more adventuring and less mathematics. Oni Lodge, shouts the bargee. 5 minutes to Oni Lodge. A group of farmers seated close to your table gather up their belongings, say farewell to their traveling companions, and begin climbing the taproom stairs as the barge slows to a halt. Well, not a lock section. 2 options, go up the deck and watch them disembark, or stay in the taproom. There's something weird to stay in the taproom. Oh, well, there's the soldier. Forgot the guy. Could talk to the soldier, or watch them disembark. I think the soldier will have more informations interesting in Taro or the war in the north. And to what do we owe the honor of your visit to Taro? Asked Trust the soldier, in a polite but inquisitive tone. On the way to Seida, replies Paido. We're going there in search of some work. We heard about the attack on Lucas, and we reckon there'll be a few rich farmers there will pay handsomely for us to protect their interests. Trust chuckles and rubs his stubbly chin. I mean no offense, but if Zegran and his rabble attack the farms near Sierra, it'll take more than 2 freelancers to turn their tails. If I were you, I'd stay in Taro. There's plenty of work there for the likes of you. Take my advice and leave Zegran to the army. We'll blunt his nose, don't you worry. A shudder runs through the floor as the barge gets underway. A new passenger has boarded at Ane Lodge, a thin individual with hard grey eyes. He descends the taproom stairs, posing to shake rain from his cloak and a wide-brimmed hat. Slung at his side is an arrow-bladed sword, and clutched in his hand is a leather-bound book. Its cover as plain and as black as its somber clothing. Without saying a word, he takes his seat in the shadows of the opposite corner and opens his book to read. Trust swallows the last drop of ale and turns his head to see what is attracting your attention. He catches sight of the new passenger and begins to choke. By the stars, he hisses. It's him! It's Kezur the Necromancer! He pulls a crumpled scroll from inside his tunic and unfurls it on the table. And it is a picture of a man's face. The cruel features bear an uncanny resemblance to those of the stranger. Beneath the picture you read, Notice of Death, Kezur the Necromancer, renegade shaman of Mogarut, leader of the forbidden sect of Dazutskul. It is hereby proclaimed by lawful authority that in just retribution for vile acts of black sorcery perpetrated throughout the free lands of Telestria, a bounty of 10,000 lune, is offered for the head of Kezur the Necromancer. By order of Queen Evane of Telestria, MS 5060. This could be our chance to make a fortune, whispers Trost. Help me take him and we'll split the reward. Agreed. It's not really in accordance with our mission though. Can help, trust, and attack the Necromancer, or refuse to help him. Don't really need 1000 lune. But it's a Vine Necromancer though. Yeah, damn the reward. It's from Mogarut, so 3 against 1, I guess it will be fine. Well, at least I guess it will be fine for us. I'm not sure about Trust and Pido, but... Quietly, you agree upon a plan of action. Pido and Trust will approach the Necromancer while you guard the stairs. If you shall evade your companions, he will have you to contend with before he can escape from the hold. Unhurriedly, you leave your seat and walk to the taproom stairs. When you are in position, your companions rise and advance toward the stranger. He remains motionless, seemingly engrossed in his black book. Trust draws his sword and challenges the man, demanding that he state his name and the purpose of his journey. It is a fatal mistake. The man looks up from his book and his grey eyes glow with a terrible red fire. Oh. Trust screams. His face has become a mass of horrible erupting boils. As he falls to the floor, Pido strikes, his sword a shimmering lance of blue steel forged by the Elder Magi. His attack is lightning fast, but the Necromancer counters his blow on the edge of his blade. Sparks explode from the clashing blades, showering the taproom with glowing fragments. The crowd begins to cheer, but their cheers turn to screams of terror when the Necromancer summons up a new and unexpected defense. Undead, I guess? A horde of huge black spiders carpets the floor, their bulbous bellies crouch on airy angular legs. In a sudden rush, they scuttle toward Pido, their eyes glinting and their mandibles gaping wide. A bow! Yeah, we do have a bow. Not many arrows though. Bow against a horde of spiders. Sounds like a waste of arrows. Or maybe shooting the Necromancer itself, though. Yeah, maybe that will be a better idea. Yeah, well, anyway. The bow is always a good idea, usually. You draw back an arrow until its feathered flights are touching your cheek and take careful aim at the Necromancer. But passengers are running wildly across your field of fire, and you dare not release your arrow for fear of hitting one of them. Precious seconds elapse as you wait. A chance to fire. Pick a number from the random number table. And 3. And we are going to add the +3 from the silver bow of Duadon. That's 6. If it is 5 to 7. We could re-roll though. Not sure if it's worth it. That we're at the beginning. For a brief moment, the space between you and your target clears. You release your arrow and it hurtles towards the Necromancer's head. His death seems imminent, but he has escaped far greater threats than this. With a rapid sweep of his arm, he parries the arrow with the hilt of his rapier, and the arrow disintegrates into a cloud of dust. You can draw another arrow and fire again. Or fuck that and draw an weapon. Only with 3 arrows left. Spider safe with the spiders. Well, he's supposed to be a Emirate warrior. Alright, the second... Yeah, we were rusty with the bow. We didn't use it in the last adventure, so... The Necromancer sidesteps into the shadows as you prepare for your second shot. Pick a random number. 6. That's better. +3 for the bow. 9. It's 9 or higher. Nice. You fire and your arrow hits the Necromancer, twisting him around and pitching him over as the shaft passes clean through his arm. Although badly wounded, he quickly scrambles back to his feet. Kizur shrieks in frustration. He renews his attack on Pydo by creating more of the hideous creatures, but your companion uses his battle magic to summon fire to his aid. From the tip of his sword, a sheet of flame wafts down upon the spiders now closing in for the kill. They flare brightly, their legs withering in the flames, their crackling black bodies dropping to the floor and crumbling away into glowing motes of dust. "Attack!" shouts Pydo, and together you advance against your foe. Kizur draws his sword and mouths a silent spell of protection as he prepares to engage you both in a fight to the death. No, first fight. Alright, so Kizur has combat skill 26, that's plus 4 combat ratio. And he has 43 endurance points. Well, we're still not ready the adventure itself, but well, put a little battle music. Should be a big foe. Kizur is immune to Mind Blast and Psy Surge. Oh, okay, so that's plus 2 combat ratio then. You may halve any endurance point losses you sustain during the combat as Pydo fights by your side and receives half of all the blows struck by Kizur. Okay, well, should be easy enough. With a plus 2 combat ratio, we should roll at least 4 or 5 and better for it to be worthwhile. With a 43 HP, I guess it's safe to roll 4 dice at once. Nine, 4, 5, 8. Okay. 9. It's 12 against 0. Or it's 7 against 3, so that's 19 against 3, and 5 is 8-2. That's 27 against 5, and 8, 11-0, so that's 38 against 5. And half of that, oh, do I round down or round up? The book doesn't say. I guess I will round up. Next roll should be the last. 6. 9 against 2. Kizur is dead. And we got 1 damage because Pydo takes the other one. Alright, Kizur lies dead, but Pydo tells you not to approach the body. I've heard tell that these priests of evil can awaken after dead to avenge themselves. Stand back and I'll make sure this one never returns to haunt us. Pydo raises his sword and severs Kizur's head with one swift stroke. Both eyelids spring open to reveal a pair of eyes that are burning red with hatred. Yet the evil fire within them swiftly dies and the pupils glaze and become milky grey. There, it is done, says Pydo, wiping his sword carefully on the helm of his tunic. He steps back and looks around. Where is Thrust? You cast your eyes to the place where he fell and see a fire-blackened body covered with the heaped remains of incinerated spiders. There he is. you say sadly. Fido takes a blanket from his backpack and drapes it over the corpse of Trust before reciting the words of the Gnula. It is an ancient Vaquero's prayer for brave souls who have fallen in battle. Brave souls or greedy souls?
In the name of the gods, what's happened here?
Thunders the captain as he hurries down the taproom stairs. A crowd of passengers huddle in his wake. Although clearly frightened, they are curious to discover the outcome of the fight that has devastated the hold.
I'll see you pay for this, he blusters. Il cost hundreds of loon to fix up this damage. Be up now, I'll take it out of your hides.
Fido snatches the cloth from a nearby table and scoops up the head of Kezur, wrapping and tying it tightly with cord. He tosses this gruesome package to the captain, together with the notice of death that lies beside Trust's scorched body.
I'll pay handsomely for the damage, Captain, says Fido, and be sure that the balance goes to the family of this brave soldier, or we'll take it out of your hide.
As the captain reads the scroll, a wry grin spreads slowly across his weather-worn face.
So, Kezur finally meet his fate aboard my barge, he says thoughtfully. Maybe I leave the hold just as it is. There's plenty of folk who'd pay to see the place where this evil rogue ended his days.
The captain orders his crew to prepare the corpses for burial, and as the bargees carry away Kezur's remain, you notice his black book lying on the floor. If you have the Magnakai discipline of divination and have reached the rank of tutelari, yeah, we do have divination and the rank of tutelari. You sense that the book contains details of acts and rituals that are wholly evil. It is an unholy book, but one which is not protected by any curse or trap. You can examine the book or not look at the book. Well, I think it's safer to keep it with us than leave it on the floor of the tavern. Cautiously, you open the black book. The pages are made of metal, as thin and flexible as silk-weave parchment. Complex words and symbols are etched into this shiny surface, with an ink that shimmers like sunlight on the sea. The strange designs are unlike any you have ever seen before, but you sense that they are wholly evil. You are about to discard the book when you notice something tucked into the spine. It is a tiny scroll of parchment. You unfurl it and your pulse quickens, for it contains a message written in Gyak, the language used by servants of the Dark Lords. You can keep the scroll as a special item. Yeah, sure, why not? It will do the same thing as the Silver Brooch 2 adventures ago, I guess. Ah, and we shot on another arrow before. The stench of scorched fur hangs heavily in the tap room, a reminder of the ghastly spiders. The smell turns your stomach and you motion to Fido to follow as you go up on deck to watch the bargees dispose of the bodies. Contemptuously, they weight Kezur's corpse with bricks and hurl him over the side. However, Trust's body is treated with great respect. They lay him in an oaken chest, and the captain leads your fellow passengers in prayer as it is lowered gracefully into the font. The heavy rain and the burial have delayed the journey,
The bargees tried to make up lost time by whipping the Gorkus, but to no avail. The muddy towpath and their waterlogged fur prevent them from pulling any faster. It is mid-afternoon by the time the barge arrives at the next stopping place, Ferry House. A ramshackle building is perched precariously on the edge of the river bank, and an old wooden jetty juts out from the side. Its empty platform, almost submerged by the sullen river. Two plains farmers disembark here. You hear them talking excitedly about the events they have witnessed, their voices gradually fading as the barge moves forward again. You stare across the lush open plains that border upon the river, contemplating the quest that lies ahead. A flock of long-necked... Yeah, in the correct place. A flock of long-necked okrills fly overhead, their melodic call echoing across the grasslands as they return to their nest at the river's edge. Fido sits silently beside you at the prow, his thoughts, like yours, on the perils of the Danark that have yet to be faced. It's Ferry House on the map. Instead it's not. Damn, we're barely there, I think. We're so far from the Danark yet. The sun is low in the sky when you catch sight of Taro. Ah, well, we're at Taro now. Its mud-colored walls, thick, high, and crenulated, dominate the hill on which it was built centuries ago. The barge passes beneath a stout wooden bridge supported by rough-hewn pillars of stone, along a canal running parallel to the river, and draws to a halt before two massive metal-bound doors that span the waterway. You collect your horses and disembark with the other mounted passengers, riding in line toward the fortified town gate. At first you are turned away by the guards, but when you show your pass, signed and sealed by Lord Adamus, you are both ushered to the front of the queue and saluted like lords as you ride through the archway and into the square beyond. Three streets converge at Taro's River Gate Square: Copperpiece Lane, Globe Walk, and Flagon Alley. Can take one of the three. Copperpiece Lane, Globe Walk, or Flagon Alley. Globe Walk sounds like a magic street. You follow the foot-worn cobbles of Globe Walk, past the premises of coopers, cobblers, and carpenters, to an open square, where you see a sign pointing to an alley that disappears among the shadows. Ahead, the street continues. It is flanked by shops and the town's perimeter wall. You can continue along the street or ride along the alley. The alley doesn't seem that safe. I'm not sure why we don't go straight through the next destination though. You arrive at a flagstone quadrangle. It is well lit by street lanterns, which hang from the first floor balcony of a large and unusual building constructed of bluestone, with silver and scarlet veins running all through it. The bricks have been polished to give a mirror-like shine. A huge wooden door, banded with copper, dominates the entrance, above which a bronze cast depicts the flaming broadsword, with the words "Temple of the Sword" engraved along the blade. Beyond the temple, a street ascends to a stone watchtower. It is built on the peak of a hill and dominates the town. If you have a map of tarot, you don't. Never had the chance to buy one. If you have the Magnakai discipline of batsmanship, yeah, newest edition. To the left of the main door, you notice 3 symbols engraved in the speckled blue stone. They are a bed, a horse, and a loaf of bread. You recognize their significance, for you have seen similar markings on hostels and monasteries during your travels in the east. By displaying these symbols, the monks of this temple offer travelers a meal, stabling for their horses, and a bed for the night. You can take advantage of the monks, or not stay overnight and investigate the watchtower. Last time in book number 2, monks were bad. Well, they can't all be bad, I guess. Free lodging. Can spare the meals in our backpack for the marsh. You dismount and climb the steps leading to the temple doors. An old man dressed in brown robes answers your knock, and he invites you and Paido inside. A novice attends to your horses. Stepping through the door is like stepping into another world. The air is sweet with incense and flickering lights, cast by a long row of squat red candles. Do little to eliminate the gloomy interior. You follow the old man along a vaulted corridor, down several flights of stairs, and finally into a torchlit refectory. A delicious smell of cooking wafts from an open hatch in the wall, together with the sounds of people in the kitchen beyond. "Be seated," says the old man, pointing to a stout oak table that is laid for supper. "Enjoy our humble food. May it revive you after your travels, and fortify you for the road ahead." Another monk enters the chamber. He is carrying 2 steaming plates of meat stew. He sets them down before you and blesses the food with the words "Kashkukzutag." You are hungry after your day's journey and must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Those are strange words to bless food. Sounds like Giek. Yeah, I'm really not sure it's a good idea. I'm sure it's bad. I shouldn't eat that. Damn monks. They're always evil. Yeah, I need to eat a meal. Why did he bless the damn food with Giak? Meal in the backpack. I hope I won't eat it. But that means that we can stay here. Oh, seriously, I'm never trusting a monk again. Despite the tempting aroma, you push the meat stew away and settle for the dry provisions you carry with you in your pack. The monks appear upset by your refusal to eat their food. They whisper to each other and cast anxious glances at your untouched plate. Paido eats his stew, smiling delightedly as he fills his empty stomach. Damn, Paido, no! The monks hurry out of the refectory and return minutes later in the company of an elderly man. He is dressed in a hooded black robe and he carries a long black staff. "Have the visitor eaten?" he asks, his voice strangely cold and monotonal. "The Vakros has eaten, master," reply the monks,
but the Kai refuse.
How do they know I'm a Kai?
Those damn monks! If you have the Magnakai discipline of divination, or if you have a crystal star pendant, you have both. Ah! Your skin prickles with fearful premonition, for you are in the presence of a powerful evil. With pounding heart, you rise from your seat in readiness for combat. If you have a bow, yeah. That. No, I'm sure that dude. No, the bow won't work. I'm sure that the bow won't work on the big dude. Do I try the bow or not? Nah, I'm sure the bow won't work. Well, maybe it will work on the little monks, but not the big one. Instant Paido is by your side, his sword unsheathed and leveled at the monks. Summon the brothers, commands the one in black. The others leave through the open door, slamming it shut behind them as they run off to fulfill their master's order. You can attack the remaining monk, or simply demand that he lets you leave. He won't let us leave. Kill the monk. The sinister monk is shocked by the speed and ferocity of your attack, but he recovers his senses in time to parry your first blow with his black staff. A splash of hissing sparks lights the room as your weapon scrapes along the jet-black pole and glances off its twisted tip. You raise your arm to strike again, but you are distracted by Paido's scream of alarm. His face is deathly pale, and his hands and arms are trembling uncontrollably. With a groan he collapses, scattering plates and cutlery as he hits the table and rolls unconscious to the floor. Yeah, it's not going well now. A distant echoing whistle issues from the monk's open mouth. Steadily it rises in pitch until it passes beyond the range of your hearing. At that moment a terrible pain courses through your head. The pain and pressure grows until your skull feels as if it is going to explode. If you have the Magnakai discipline of side screen, and we do. Since we have the whole circle of spirit. You close your eyes and summon the full power of your discipline. Drawing on your psychic reserve, you project a mental barrier to deflect the attack. Instantly, the pressure in your head decreases and the pain subsides, releasing your senses from the icy paralysis of psychic shock. Abruptly, the attack breaks off. The suddenness of its pacing leaves you reeling. As you open your eyes, you see the reason why the attack has swiftly ceased. A ghastly transformation is taking place before your disbelieving eyes. The monk's face is writhing and contorting as the skin tightens and grows darker. Tattered flesh drops from his sunken cheeks to hang in festoons beneath an exposed jawbone. A sickening dread fills your heart when you recognize the creature that is standing before you. It is a Elgast, a nightmarish agent of the Dark Lords. Its demonic eyes glow like a pair of red-hot coals
as it utters a terrible shriek and raises its long black staff. If you possess the summer sword. Yup, sure. A cold blue fire burns at the tip of the Elgas's staff, but the chill of its icy flame is stalled by the golden fire of the sun sword. Sword and staff collide with a deafening boom, and a crackling web of energy surrounds you both, scorching the refectory walls with its blistering intensity. Well, there's a fight. We healed 4 since then, surely. Yagelgast, combat skill 36, wolf. It's a -6 combat ratio. Damn, I ran into quite a tough one. And 48 endurance. This creature is immune to Mind Blast, but not Size Surge. I think I'll need Size Surge. It will be a -8 combat ratio if I don't use Mind Blast. Will be a hard fight, but with Size Surge, it will be a -4 combat ratio, but I'm losing 1 endurance point each turn. I don't have Fire Seeds. Unless you possess the Magnakai Discipline of Size Screen, you must reduce your endurance point by 2. At the beginning of every round you fight this creature. We're fine. If you have completed the Lord Circle of the Combat Spirit, you may increase your combat skill by 2 points for the duration of the fight. Oh, nice. So now it's a -2 combat ratio fight. Remember to double all endurance point losses sustained by the enemy due to the power of the Summer Sword. Yeah, because it's an undead. Okay, a -2 combat ratio, that's manageable, even if he's stronger. I think we can roll safely 4 dice on this. They're so bad rolls. 2, 2, 2, 9. 2 is 3 for the enemy and 5 for us. That's 9 against 15. And 9 is 10-0. So he lost 19 and we lost 15. Plus 4, 19 each. It's not going well. Can we roll 4 dice again? I think it's safe. Oh, better rolls. 0, 0, 2, 8. Oh, the zeros are quite nice. That's 11 against 0, so he lost 22. And 2 is 3 against 5, so that's 25 against 5. And 8. It's dead. 34 against 6. Plus 4, 10. We have only 9 endurance points left. The Elgas vents a cry of rage and despair as you strike the blow that seals its doom. It crumples and falls, its flesh transforming rapidly into a vile green gas. In a few moments, all that remains is the torn and shredded robe that once concealed its identity. Your mind reels at what just occurred, but you dare not dwell on the fearful implications, for you can make out the sound of feet running down the stairs beyond the locked refectory door. You rush to Bido's side and shake him, trying desperately to revive him. He groans, his head lolling from side to side as you drag him to his feet. There is now only one escape route from the refectory, the hatch in the wall that leads to the kitchens. You lift Bido across your shoulder and bundle him through the narrow opening. But before you can pull yourself through, the door slams open and a rush of angry monks pour into the refectory. We can use the bow, fight them, or jump through the hatch. Can we kill all the monks? It will be simpler. I'm so low HP though. Ugh. I need to take I need to take a shot of potion of lump spur. I think I need to take the old potion. That will give 13 HP, 14 with the section without fight out of 38. Fighting against a horde of monks. I'm not sure that shooting the bow will help. I think it's safe-ish to ignore them and just jump down the hatch and follow Bido. From behind come screams of outrage as the monks stumble upon the smoldering remains of the Elgast. "Stop the murderers!" they cry. "Stop them!" Suddenly a sharp pain shoots up your leg when a monk slashes you viciously with a short sword. Pick a number from the random number table. Ugh. The number you pick is equal to the number of endurance points you lose as you scramble through the hatch, and 0 equal 10. Oh, 10 damage. That's so bad. Perchance the potion of lump spur saved us. If you survive the wound, you receive while escaping. Yep. Jump to your feet and scan the room. Your weapon poised, ready to strike down any will-be attacker. Fortunately, the place is empty. The cooks have been summoned to the refectory. You sheath your weapon, lift Bido across your shoulder, and hurry toward an open door at the far end of the kitchen. As you pass by a steaming cauldron of stew, you catch sight of a stoppered vial of clear liquid. Stop to pocket the vial before running through the door and into the corridor beyond. It's a special item. I think we have space for that. Yeah, not sure. 3, 6, 9, 12. No, we're full. Does it take a special item? Well. Doesn't really leave any choice. I guess it goes in
I see later down the road. At the end of the corridor, there is a wooden door and a staircase that ascends to the floor above. If you have the Magnakai discipline of batsmanship or divination, we have both. A strong aura of good emanates from the room above, leading you to believe that it is a place of worship. However, this aura masks your ability to detect if the room is either occupied or empty. The door ahead gives off no special aura. Place of worship. Okay, let's bank everything on the good. At the top of the stairs, you pass through a curtained archway and step into a large prayer hall. The central aisle separates its pews of white wood, which face a golden pulpit with a fascia shaped to resemble a flaming sword. Carefully, you rest Pido on a pew and examine the glass vial you found in the kitchen. Your fears and suspicions are soon confirmed. It contains poison. The clear, sticky fluid is sap from the Nardun tree, a substance used frequently by assassins because of its lack of flavor and scent. The monks must have put some of this poison in the food that Pido unwittingly consumed. The sap is deadly and you must act quickly if you are to save your companion's life. You hear the sound of running feet and the growl of dogs of the leash. They come from the bottom of the stairs. You hurl the vial against a wall so that it cannot be used anymore, and once more you shoulder your burden, carrying Pido toward the far end of the hall in search of an exit. Well, that's what happened with the vial, I guess. Hear the sound of running feet and yeah, we're down. Behind a drawn curtain you discover a door, but it is locked and bolted from the other side. The noise of your pursuers grows louder as they ascend the stairs to the hall. If you have the Magnakai discipline of invisibility, no. If you do not possess this skill, you can hide in the pulpit, among the pews, or stand in the central aisle and await your pursuers. That's kind of crazy. With solo HP. But they have dogs though. The dogs will find us so easily. Well, we lose nothing by trying to hide. You climb the steps to the pulpit as swiftly as you are able and rest Pido in the recess behind its sword-shaped fascia. By chance, his tunic snags on a hidden lever, and as his body slumps over, the lever is pulled to one side. Suddenly, the floor of the pulpit shudders and begins to descend into a secret passage located beneath the hall. Carefully, you pull Pido off the platform and raise him into a sitting position, with his back against the passage wall. Slowly, the platform rises back into the pulpit. In the silence of this secret passage, all you can hear is the shallow breathing of your unconscious companion. You lift one of his eyelids and note that his iris is fully dilated. Your basic eye skill of feeling informs you that he has slipped into a coma. If you have the Magnakai discipline of curing, we don't. The guy is so dead. His weakening pulse indicates to you that unless he receives an antidote or a healing potion, he will likely be dead within the hour. Oh. And we quaffed the potion earlier. If you have either a potion of Lumspur, we don't anymore. Rendelim's elixir, nope. Or Uede herb, nope. Oh, he's so dead. Fido's condition deteriorates rapidly. His coma deepens until finally his heart and brain simply cease to function and he slips away. Sadness fills your senses, and in the lonely confines of the passage, you mourn the loss of your brave companion. However, grief soon turns to anger as you think about the base trickery that ended his life and so nearly put an end to yours. A rage grows within you, fueled by a need for revenge. You take Fido's sword and vow to avenge his death by washing it in the blood of his murderers. Heedless of caution and in the warning cry of your senses, you pull a lever that activates the secret pedestal lift and return to the hall above in search of vengeance. As you reach the recess beneath the pulpit, you are transfixed by a blinding flash. A searing pain rips through your chest, and a deafening bang rings in your ears. 3 monks armed with boar muskets have lain in wait in case you reappear. It seems that their wait was not in vain. Tragically, your life and your quest end here. Alright. We're dying because we don't have a potion. So we need to go back and revert the usage of the potion of Lumspur for a flask of liqueur. So we're losing 1 endurance points because the liqueur is only +3. And then we can use the potion of Lumspur on Fido. And gain 6 from the Ishir and Kai skill. Due to the sections without combat. Okay, well, first time that we died, kind of stupidly, in the Magnakai quest. Let's see if the potion of Lumspur will help. Unlike a flask of water attached to Fido's belt, dip your eating potion into it and shake it vigorously. With care, you tilt back Fido's head and pour the mixture into his mouth, a few drops at a time. In his comatose state, he is unable to cough, and it will be easy to fill his lungs by accident. It is a slow and painstaking process, which takes several hours to complete. It is dawn of the following day before you know for sure if your painstaking efforts have saved his life. And the monks doesn't mind. A bead of sweat trickling down Fido's forehead is the first sign of his recovery. Slowly he stirs to consciousness. He is waking from a sleep that was very nearly his last. He can remember nothing of the ordeal, and when you tell him what has happened, he shakes his head in disbelief. A Hellgast? He says incredulously. How can it be? The servants of Dark Lord Nyag have infiltrated this monastery. Ah, that was us. The servants of Dark Lord Nyag have infiltrated this monastery, you reply.
They have kept themselves hidden, but I fear the day is fast approaching when they will rise up and wreak their havoc. Already they know our true identities, and I'd wager they know precisely why we're here. This is bitter news, Lone Wolf, replies Spido, his face etched with worry. We can afford to delay no longer. If Telestria falls to Dark Lord Nyag before we reach the Danarg, the quest is lost. You nod in agreement, and as you cast your eyes along the gloomy passageway, you cannot help but wonder if the quest is already lost. With a shake of your head, you dismiss the thought, and help Pydo to his feet. You took Pydo's sword during the fight, you now return it to him. The passage follows a tortuous path that eventually leads to a paneled door. A raised button activates the lock and the door slides into the wall to reveal a strange room beyond. Domed and hexagonal, its walls are hung with tapestries depicting strange and grotesque creatures. Numerous plinths stand upon its richly carpeted floor, each supporting a large bowl filled to the brim with silvery liquid. Cautiously, you step through this secret portal and into this strangely sumptuous chamber. One of the bowls begins to emit a faint humming sound. The surface of its silvery liquid swirls and glows brighter, casting a phosphorescent light on the domed ceiling. The sparkling mist slowly clears and a strange image takes shape, condensing and forming into something wholly alien, something that resembles the head of a monstrous fly. Its great multifaceted eyes stare down at you, gleaming darkly with black fire, like two huge clusters of evil jewels. Booms a ghastly rasping voice. Then with a stifled cry of rage and recognition, the image clouds over and the light fades to a dull glow. The terrible visage of Dark Lord Nyag has disappeared. By the gods, gasps Pydo, shocked to the core by what he has seen. What manner of beast was that? However, you do not reply, for you sense that he already knows the dreadful answer. Swiftly you search the chamber. Behind a throne-like chair of chiseled stone, you discover several useful items. A sword, a bow, 3 arrows, and enough food for 2 meals. Okay, we're back to 5 arrows. How many meals already? 2 meals. Also, set into the back of the chair, you locate a lever. It activates a portal in the opposite wall. The tapestry that conceals it is drawn aside and you can see a stairway, flanked by torches, descending to a passageway far below. Come, says Pydo. His room chills my blood. You move to follow him as he descends the stairs, stopping briefly to kick over the bowl of glowing, silvery liquid that projected the image of Dark Lord Nyag. The stairs lead down to a vast network of catacombs that stretch in every direction. It will be easy to lose yourself in this maze of tunnels, but your Kai tracking skills, aided by the pressing need to escape from the monastery, help you avoid the hazards and dead ends of these sprawling burial vaults. Following the sound of dripping water, you discover a circular stone trapdoor in the ceiling. Pydo cups his hands around your foot and lifts you nearer to the tunnel roof, enabling you to open the trapdoor. Early morning daylight streams into the passage as you lift the slab of wet stone and slide it aside. You have emerged in the courtyard on the north side of the monastery. Two monks stand guard at the double doors of a low, timber-frame building on the other side of the paved enclosure. Fortunately, a line of bushy fruit trees encircling the courtyard provide all the cover you need to avoid their watchful eyes. You crouch in the shadows and watch as the monks leave their post to enter the building. A minute later, the doors swing open and they reappear, both on horseback and ride up through an archway to the right. The courtyard is now empty, but you curse their departure, for the horses they are riding are yours and Pydo's. Maybe they have other horses in the stable, or we can escape on foot. Let's check the stables just in case. And let's keep track of the endurance points. Stable is full of fine horses, all as sound and as sturdy as the mounts given to you by Lord Adamus. Pydo acts as lookout while you saddle up two black stallions. You're making the final adjustments to their bridles when Pydo hisses a warning. "For monks, they're coming this way." You mount your fresh steeds and gallop out of the stables, scattering the startled monks who have just reached the door. In an act of desperation, one of the monks unsheathes his sword and hurls it at your back. The deadly blade spins through the air with an alarming accuracy. Pick a number from the random number table. 4. If you have the Magnakai disciplines of Hunt Mastery and Divination. Nope. If you have completed the Lore Circle of Fire. Nope. 3 or higher. Okay, we're fine with the 4. The sword whistles past your head and gouges a chunk of stone from the courtyard arch. You hear the monks shouting and you dig in your heels, steering your horse through the archway and along a narrow street that leads to the quadrangle. At this early hour, there are few obstacles to slow your escape as you gallop headlong through the twisting streets of Taro. It is not until you reach the town's north gate that you finally rein in your horse to a halt. Ooh. Was a close call. The North Gate guards, tired and irritable after the long night's watch, grumble wearily at your demand for the gate to be opened. "What's the hurry?" growls one guardsman. "Matter of life and death, is it?" sneers the other. The portcullis finally clanks open and you leave the town, riding the broken dirt track toward the distant hills and the frontier town of Siada. There. Gray-brown grasses brush your shins as you cross this wild, uncultivated plain. Accompanying your ride is an unnatural silence which is broken only occasionally by the cawing of ravens circling like vultures overhead. By midday you are among the hills. The terrain becomes increasingly rocky, undulating like a storm-tossed ocean. The tall plains grass has given way to sad little plants, scraggy and deformed, stunted by the winds that sweep down from the barren waste of Ogia. The track passes through a narrow valley where a small stone cabin stands beside the entrance to a disused mine shaft. As you approach the cabin, you catch a glimpse of a face at the window. You can stop at the cabin, investigate the mine, or continue along. Usually I will stop, but we're so low on endurance points. I'm not sure about this. And the monks that took horses, I'm sure they're ready to ambush us. I think that we need to bide our time and just heal, literally buy time. The mine, not sure about the mine either. Yeah, we should continue here. The trek continues along the rock-strewn valley floor, through a thicket of stunted trees, and climbs slowly toward a ridge of hills, whose peaks have been worn smooth by countless years of wind and harsh weather. You stop briefly at a babbling stream to allow your horses to drink. Your rumbling stomach reminds you that you are hungry and in need of food. You must now eat a meal or lose 2 endurance points. When the horses have quenched their thirst, you continue your steady climb to the ridge. On reaching the crest of the ridge, you look upon a sight that sends a shiver down your spine. No more shivers, we don't have the endurance points for that. In the distance, you see a pall of dense black smoke rising into the sky. At its base, there is a fortress wall and a cluster of cottages, which are feeding the greedy flames. Siada burns. To the north of the doomed town, an army of black-clad troops covers the hills. The black wolf-head banners of Ojia sway on long poles, fluttering grimly above the ranks of the merciless horde. Along the track, a great procession of men, women, and tear-stained children come toward you. Some are on horseback, some in carts, and some have bundles of possessions clutched to their soot-blackened chest. They stumble forward in silence, their eyes filled with terror and despair. A soldier, bleeding from a deep wound to his head, rides past the crest shouting, "Turn back! Turn back! The armies of darkness are approaching!" It is impossible to continue westward along the track. The dirt road is completely clogged with refugees from Siada, and the Ojian horde stand poised to launch an attack from the hills. Only 2 courses of action are left open to you. You can turn back along the track, or you can ride west across the hills toward the Mordril forest. Consult the map at the front of the book before making your decision. Ride west or go back. I don't know what we're going to do if we go back. Sounds to me like there's only one option. And we can only cross, well,
most probably only can cross the river where we are right now in front of Siada. Unless we find a bridge or something. Yeah, I don't see anything else than going west. You and Pido wheel your horses around and follow the crest of the ridge. Expertly, you manage to steer them down a steep bank of loose shale and then spur them on at a brisk pace along a dried-out gully. Soon the gully becomes a stream of sparkling water, fed by an underground spring. A rumble, like the sound of a distant storm, warns you that the vast army of Zigran, war chief of Oja, is now less than 20 miles away. We still have a swamp to explore. You follow the stream until it enters a long corridor of towering trees, which descends toward the bank of a swift-flowing brook. It is a tributary of the river Siad. You stop here to bathe your faces in the stream's icy water and to stare at the massive blue-green giant trees that fill the western horizon. The Morril Forest, says Pido with a note of trepidation in his voice. It was once a wondrous forest, a place of light and goodness. The trees grew strong and the birds and beasts were the fairest of any forest breed. However, the Mordril has grown dark and dismal of late. The Danarg encroaches, feeding its sickness to the soil and poisoning the saplings and the creatures that dwell there still. It is a doomed forest, doomed to become part of the Danarg swamp. You remount your horse and cross the brook. As you climb the opposite bank, you notice a set of freshly made tracks in the soft earth. If you have the Magnakai discipline of pathsmanship. Yep. At first, you think that the tracks are those of a black bear, the paw prints being of similar size and depth. Yet a closer examination changes your mind. These prints were left by a biped, a two-footed animal that walks upright. You have never before come across tracks like these, and judging from the size of the prints, you do not want to meet the creature that made them. You urge your horse up the steep bank and across the fallen branches that litter the trail beyond. Less than a mile from the brook, you hear the sound of rushing water. The track bears north and you see a roaring waterfall cascading into a rocky pool, its surface lost in a cloud of fine spray. A huge tree has fallen across the pool, creating a bridge, and the track leads straight toward it. You are halfway across the tree bridge, looking down at the swirling spray and foaming water below, when a ghastly howl rings out above the thundering noise of the waterfall. You look up and stare, slack-jawed, at the creature that is advancing toward you now across the tree bridge. Not a fight. I'm not ready yet. The creature gives a strange snickering cry as slowly it edges nearer and nearer. It is a huge, pear-shaped beast with a hunchback and a white lizard-like head. Awkwardly, it shuffles upright on two large hairy paws. At first glance, it looks as if two totally separate creatures have been joined together at the waist. The lower half of its body is covered with a coarse, spiky fur. The upper body is pale and hairless, heavily veined, with long, sinewy forearms. It raises its snout to savor the scent of your frightened horse, and it opens its fanged jaws. If you have a bow, yeah, it's bow time. Bridge single file. Your horse is panic-stricken. The tree bridge is too narrow for it to be able to turn around, and Pido's mount is so close behind that you are unable to back up without risk of sending both forces over the edge. Pick a number from the random number table.
7 plus 3 for the boat, that's 10. If you have completed the lore circles of fire and light, nope. If it is 8 or higher, thanks to the silver bow of Duadon. One less arrow. Your arrow enters the creature's mouth and transfixes its tongue to the back of its throat. It gurgles and chomps on the feathered shaft, its clawed fingers scrabbling to pull it free. In its frenzy, it loses its footing and slips, throwing open its arms instinctively to steady itself. Its claws ensnare your horse's bridle, and as it topples from the tree bridge, it pulls both you and your horse over the edge. Pick a number from the random number table. You have the Magnakai discipline of Hunt Mastery. No. However, deduct 1 for each sack of silver you may be carrying. From the mine, I guess. But it's 3. If it is 2 or higher, chance the threshold was low. You leap from the saddle and narrowly avoid being pulled off the tree bridge. Your horse and the hideous creature both disappear from view and they are swallowed up by the spray from the waterfall. As you land on the slippery wetwood, Fido's horse rears up on his hind legs. His forelegs kick the air and he rolls his eyes madly. Your companion fights to control the animal, but he is wild with fear, and with a crack of splintering wood, his hind hoof shears through a rodent branch and leaves him tottering on the brink. Fido swings his legs clear and abandons his doomed horse moments before he falls into the watery abyss. Yeah, using horses on a tree bridge, bad idea. For a few minutes you stare silently at the pool below, but nothing stirs in the seething waters to record the loss of your horses or the passing of the dreadful Anafeg. All 3 have disappeared without a trace. The distant thunder of battle pervades your thoughts, prompting you to leave the tree bridge and move deeper into the Mordrel forest. The tall trees becomes denser, often forcing you to turn your body sideways in order to make any progress. Gradually, dense undergrowth turns to a carpet of moss and blue-black lichen that clings to your boots like sticky mud. A chill overwhelms you when a thick and pearly mist seeps from the cracks beneath the trees. The many sounds of the forest have been replaced by a cold and airy silence. If you are currently infected with Korovax bacillus, nope. If you are not or have been cured, we are not. Twilight is approaching. As the sky darkens, a blackbird flies among the upper branches, emitting a shrill cry which sounds unnaturally loud in the silent forest. It settles, stares at you for a few minutes, then it flaps away. A little later, you stumble upon a clearing. Shafts of ghostly moonlight pour through a gap in the black canopy of leaves, revealing a mound of earth which rises out of the forest mist. You are both exhausted after the day's events and agree to stop here to rest. Fido takes a gold crown from his pocket and tosses it in the air to decide who shall take the first watch. Heads or tails? He asks, the crown clenched in his fist. If you possess the Magnakai discipline of divination, yeah, we're going to cheat at head or tails. Using your Kai skill, you find it easy to detect that the coin shows heads. Can call heads or tails. Yeah, I'll be a gentleman and... but if we sleep, we're going to regain our endurance points, and Fido is kind of full. Yeah, we're better sleeping here, I think.
Fido reveals the coin. You have chosen correctly. You decide to take the second watch and settle yourself down for some much needed rest. The grey earth is soft and spongy and provides an excellent mattress. You pull your wine Kai cloak around your shoulders and slip into a deep, dreamless sleep. Restore 3 endurance points. Okay, we need to take a gander where we are with our endurance points. So 3, that's 18. And 5 before for the healing skill. And 3 there. We're at 26. And we're going to be woken up. Four hours later, you take over the watch. Your vigil passes uneventfully, and as the darkness of night gives way to the gloomy grey of dawn, you wake your companion and prepare to set off once more. Time to check the map. We're somewhere over there. Still not in the swamp and far from where we need to go, I think. Your sense of time erodes away as you check through the seemingly endless expanse of bleak grey trees. Slowly you become aware that you are on an incline. Oh. As your passage becomes steeper, you notice large outcrops of pitted volcanic rock. We are approaching the Danar crater. The Spido, his quietly spoken words echoing loudly through the trees of this eerie forest. You recall the words of Lord Irimoa during your period of preparation in Elzian. The Danarg occupies the crater of an ancient and massive volcano. Once it was a lush jungle of fertile vegetation, but now it is a cancerous wound that poisons all who dwell there. By noon you have climbed to the lip of the crater and begun your descent. Gradually the tall, straight trees of the mortal forest thin out and give way to twisted trunks and stunted saplings, as the land sinks deeper and deeper. Imperceptibly the forest ends and the swamp begins. The ground is softer now, and tall black rushes appear in clumps around misty pools of stagnant water. From tortured husks of trees hang thorny vines, as tough and as cruel as sharpened steel wire. So thickly are they entwined around some trees that they have strangled them, leaving empty coils where their trunks have rotted away. The stench of decay fills your nostrils and the cold humid air. You wade through ankle-deep slime for nearly an hour before reaching the edge of a huge murky pool. Wells and eddies disturb its surface, warning of creatures lurking below. If you have the Magnakai discipline of pathmanship and have reached the rank of tutelary, we do. Your improved sky skill warns you that to the north a tribe of hungry swamp creatures are lurking to the edge of the pool in search of prey. You and Pydo will provide an excellent meal for these beasts. To the south, the track takes you away from the heart of the swamp and consequently further away from your goal. You can go north and brave the swamp creatures, or go south. Oh. We're so low HP. Not sure it's the right time to take a risk. Can try to go south. and take a detour. A froth of green scum marks the edge of the pool, and you use it as a guide to avoid stepping too close to the water. On your left, the pools become more numerous until you find yourselves walking along a narrow strip of mossy mounds flanked by dark water. "By the gods!" grumbles Spido, slapping insects from his face. "How I wish for some good solid ground rather than the spongy muck." As if in answer to his request, you see a spur of volcanic rock looming out of the mud ahead. It forms a causeway above the pools of greasy water. You follow it, and soon it comes to a place where it splits in two. One spur disappears to the west, the other continues to the south. If you have the Magnakai discipline of Nexus and have reached the rank of Primate, we do. Your Kai sense detects a pocket of marsh gas further along the south spur. Your Magnakai discipline will protect you from its harmful effects, but Pido will be vulnerable. You can continue south and endanger Pido, or go west. I guess we're going to go west. Eventually, the volcanic spur slopes back into the stinking mire, and once more you find yourselves ankle-deep in cold black ooze. A chilling hole drifts across the swamp from the north, and for a few fleeting seconds, you can hear no scuttling, slithering, or any other small noise. You are hungry and must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Yeah, going through those meals at an alarming rate. You arrive at a mound where a tree bearing blood-red fruit overhangs a pool of crystal-clear water. Stop to rest and to dislodge the many tiny leeches that are feasting on your legs. Fido climbs the tree to scan the horizon. He carries with him a star guider. It is a homing device invented by the Elder Magi to enable their flying ships to navigate in the dark. It is sensitive to the vibrations given off by corlinium crystals. The spire of the Temple of Orido is crafted from solid corlinium, and the Elder Magi set Pido's Star Guider to home in on the vibrations that are emitted by this spire. By following the direction of the signals, it is hoped that you will be able to find the lost temple. While Pido is busy adjusting the Star Guider, you decide to investigate your surroundings. You can examine the red fruit, the pool of water, or sit back and relax. Yeah, maybe the red fruit, I'm sure it's bad, but... The red skin fruit is the size of an orange, and its peel is similar in texture to orange peel. If you have the Magnakai discipline of Hunt Mastery, we don't. You can pick one of the fruit or not touch them. I'm sure it's bad. Nah. Too risky. Everything is bad from here on. When Pido finally climbs down from the tree, his face betrays his anxiety. "What is wrong?" you ask impatiently. "There is no signal," he replies. "I've scanned every direction with a star guider, but it can detect no corlinium signal. It isn't damaged, of that I'm sure. It's as if the temple has disappeared." Take the device from Pido's hand and climb the twisted tree trunk. He shouts instructions, and you set the star guider into operation. scanning the distant horizon and waiting for the telltale click that will reveal the direction of the lost temple of the Elder Magi. However, Pydo is right. There is no signal. Without a signal there is little hope of finding the lore stone of Orido. You are about to abandon the search and jump down from the tree when you see something on the northern horizon that you had not noticed before. An island of red volcanic rock rises out from the mire, one of 4 flat-topped islands grouped in a diamond close to the eastern edge of the crater. Perhaps the temple is on the other side of that island. Perhaps this is why the Starguider will emit no signal. You climb down and ask Pydo what he thinks. He stares to the north and ponders the problem. Yes, it is possible, he says thoughtfully. It is just possible. Is the swamp going to be the less dangerous place in this adventure? Hope returns and your spirits rise with the expectation of finding the lost temple somewhere beyond the Isle of Red Rock. You set off without delay, anxious to cover the 10-mile trek before the sun sets and darkness engulfs the Donarg. For the most part of the swamp mire is firm underfoot and the inhabitants pose no problems that cannot be solved by a few shouts or well-placed weapon blows. Yet, as the sky darkens and you draw nearer to the plateau, the going becomes more difficult. A carpet of vines thick with mold covers a surface of muddy holes and hollows. Often a seeming puddle proves to be a deep water-filled fissure. Progress becomes so slow that you fear you will never reach the island before dark. Pydo is leading the way across a tangled mat of barbed vines when a wave disturbs the muddy ooze below. Suddenly, the great head of a silver swamp python bursts through the rotting creepers. It raises its 3 thick coils high in the air. Awesome jaws set with double-tiered fangs tower above you, glistening heavily in the fading light. A drop of venom falls from the fangs and sets the quagmire boiling. If you have the Magnakai discipline of animal control and have reached the rank of primate, nope. The great snake flicks its tongue and lunges forward, intent on consuming you both in its massive jaws. Well, it's a fight. I hope that we had time to heal, and let's switch to more adventure thingy since since we're in the marsh for the real adventure. Did we went through 12 sections then? Surely not. Nine sections. Well, we're almost full. Not so bad. Nope, 5, good. So, the enemy is a silver swamp python, combat skill 20. Oh, that will be an easy one. Combat ratio plus 10. And he has 48 endurance. Owing to the swiftness of its attack, you do not have time to use a bow, unless you possess the Magnakai discipline of curing and have reached the rank of primate. Double all endurance point losses you sustain during the combat other than self-inflicting losses due to Psy Surge. Due to the snake's venomous bite, your foe is too wet to be vulnerable to fire seeds. Okay, not a big combat skill, but double endurance loss. And they account for Pydo there. But a plus 10 combat ratio fight should be easy. We need to roll. Yeah, 6 or better for it to be worthwhile.
Let's go with 4 dice, but the 4th one will be the last most probably. Oh, damn. 1 to 1, 9. 8 against 3, so that's 6. 9 against 3, 6 again. And 8 against 3, 6 again. So we lose 18, the creature lose 26. But the 9 is pretty good. Instant dead, okay, nice. Oh, per chance. If you win the combat, solo endurance again. The arrival of the swamp python frightened away the other denizens of the mire, but now they are returning to satisfy their curiosity. Hordes of slithering lizard beasts gather at the edge of the floating morass, inching their way nearer as they assess your strengths and weaknesses. Relentlessly, you push your way through the soggy vegetation until you reach the jagged rock wall of the island, urged on all the way by a hissing chorus of sinister swamp creatures. Long streamers of moss-covered vines hang down the red rock wall in huge numbers, inviting you to use them to climb up to the plateau above. After the uncertain ground of the swamp, the hard, jagged rock face comes as a welcome relief. You make good progress, reaching the top just as the sun is sinking into the sea of scarlet mist that shrouds the eastern Danarg. In the failing light, you discover a trail that winds northward through knee-high foliage, if you have the Magnakai discipline of pathmanship. Yep. Even in the failing light, you can see that this trail is frequently used. The spongy vegetation is crushed flat and a profusion of tracks are imprinted into the loamy soil. The tracks were made by immense-sized creatures, barefooted and web-toed. Close to the main trail, there winds another, less obvious track. For some reason, someone or something has gone to great lengths to keep this trail a secret. We can use the well-trodden trail or the secret trail. It's often more interesting to use the secret trail. A full moon and a cloudless sky make your passage along this secret path much easier. It follows a tortuous route through the tall plants, around mossy mounds full of crawling insects, past the dark entrances to underground warrens, and then skirts the fringe of a thicket of trees. Fido halts and crouches down, ignoring the bloated spiders that scuttle around his knees, and points through a gap in the trees to a settlement of crudely made huts. Dark shapes move between them, human once, but far from human now. Gegrim, whispers Pido, with fear in his voice. The men-beasts of the Danarg. In the distant past, the Gegrim were a gentle primitive folk, who lived as one with the animals and the birds, cared for by the elder Magi in their jungle paradise. Yet the Danarg has changed, and so too have the Gegrim. They have been poisoned by the evil that has conquered this land. You can approach the huts or avoid the Gegrim. So low on HP, we need to avoid them. An hour passes and you breathe a sigh of relief. You are relieved to have left the Gegrim settlement far behind.
You forego any rest and press on along the track until you reach a promontory of rock on the northwestern tip of the island. There you stop and snatch a few hours' sleep while you await the dawn. Day breaks, and the view it brings with it fills you with awe. Perched on this rocky peak, you can see for the first time ever the sheer vastness of the swamp in all its frightening glory. Fido activates the Starguider and scans the horizon, but even before its telltale clicks are heard, your eagle eyes have spotted the glint of the temple's Corlinium spire. To the west, beyond the sea of sickly green-black vegetation, stands the Temple of Orido. It is imprisoned but seems unaffected by the swamp. The holes of the Gagrim echo across the island as you make your descent, by rope and by vine, the fitted wetlands below. You reach the rocky base and set off across the mud flats, following the Starguider's signal, now that the spire is hidden by a wall of swamp mist. Pick a number from the random number table. If it's 5 or lower... another fight. Around a pool of slimy water are gathered a group of vine coils, hollow and tunnel-shaped like gigantic rusty springs. They support a huge spider's web. There is no sign of the web's maker, although, judging by the size of the rope-like strands, it must be a creature of enormous size. You give the pool a wide berth, before finding your way back to where the Starguider's signal is strongest. A creeping bank of mist rolls across your path, and the maker of the web looms out of it. Fido stifles a cry as this airy abomination scuttles toward you, its venomous maw poised to bite. We can fight or evade. Oh. When they gave this option... How can we evade that in his lair inside of the swamp? I think we have no choice here. The gigantic spider closes in for the kill, its fangs dripping with sticky black venom and its cold black eyes glinting greedily as it savors your scent. If you have a bow time. Should have taken a quiver with more arrows. Waiting until the last possible moment, you release your arrow and send it burrowing deep into one of the creature's main eyes. It roars with pain, its legs crabbling in the mud as it sways and then crashes down with a mighty splash. You do not wait to see if your shot has proved fatal. You shoulder your bow and follow Pido as he picks up the signal from the temple spire. Whew. Just evade a fight. After your encounter with the 10th spider, you both are in need of rest. You stop to recover your strength, and you must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Well, so far the meals were a good choice at the beginning. The empty backpack helped a lot. Pido is optimistic that you will reach the temple by sundown, just so long as you avoid encountering any more of the Danark's hostile inhabitants. It is late afternoon when you see the Temple of Orido rising majestically out of the swamp mist and tangled vegetation.
The sight of this towering ziggurat is so breathtaking that you are both stunned into silence as you feast your eyes upon its untarnished splendor. Chair upon chair of gleaming white stone, shaped and formed into a perfect symmetry, confront you. Huge foundation slabs support a level carved of golden rock, inlaid and decorated with gleaming gemstones. Above that sit strata of precious metals and 10 levels made up of crystal slabs, whose facets refract the colors of the rainbow. Upward climb tiers of ruby, sapphire, and emerald that offer up a wedge-shaped spire of pure corallium crystal to the sky. At its base, the swamp has shrunk back, as if repelled by the radiant goodness of the temple. A perimeter of lush grass leads to a staircase of solid amber. You follow Paido as he ascends toward a pair of huge triangular doors set into the second level. Everywhere the glitter of gemstones and the gleam of precious metals radiate a wholesome purity that has been unspoiled by the Danarg. Paido completes the complex procedures that open the great doors. They were taught to him by the Elder Magi in preparation for this mission. The doors part without a sound and you enter, stepping on a floor of glistening gold, a floor that has lain undisturbed for 7,000 years. With the sole exception of the visit of the intrepid Baron of Toran, who will later become the founder of your order, Sun Eagle himself. The great doors close with a whisper. You follow Paido along a corridor of gleaming silvery metal that bedazzles your eyes, to a hall carved from thick crystal quartz. Icicles of diamond hang from its ceiling and reflect in a floor set with mosaics of 1,000 shimmering squares. Approach the crystal days, lone wolf, instructs Paido, pointing to a radiant circular plateau of purest quartz. However, even as his words leave his lips, you are already walking toward the plinth. Drawn by a strange compulsion, you mount the dais and a flood of golden light pours down from above, bathing you in its warm, cleansing rays. You raise your cupped hands, as if offering up an invisible gift, and a tingling sensation runs the length of your arms before it spreads throughout your body, giving you an incredible sense of health and well-being. A ball of sparkling light is taking shape in your hands. It condenses into a radiant crystal filled with translucent golden fire. It is the lore stone of Orido. You may wish to note that you have visited the Danarg for future reference. Restore your current endurance score to its original level and continue your adventure. Oh, those are all good news. The light fades and you step down from the dais, your senses aglow with a newfound wisdom and strength. Having witnessed the fulfillment of your quest, Paido beams with joy as you return to his side. He congratulates you and bids you follow as he turns towards an archway of silver set into the crystal walls of the chamber. Come, Lone Wolf. We have a long journey ahead of us. We must leave without delay. The thought of returning to the dangers of the Danarg fills you with dread. Paido senses your anxiety. Don't look so dismayed, he says, still smiling. His temple will provide a means of our safe return, you will see. Intrigued by his answer, you follow in silence as he leads you through the archway and up a long flight of marble stairs to another chamber.
also constructed of crystal but veined with a marble that glistens like liquid fire. It is solid corallium. At the center of the chamber, its hull resting on a cradle of steel, is a Levitron, an ancient sky ship. Like everything else that you have seen in this wondrous temple, the craft is untarnished by the passage of time. Fido ushers you aboard and prepares to power the craft. A shudder runs through the hull as the engines rise in pitch and slowly it lifts from its bed of steel. The chamber is built in the spire of the temple and the roof now slides open to allow the Levitron to rise into the darkening sky above the Danarg. Fido sets the controls and puts the ship's starguider on a course for Elgin. Then he joins you at the bow rail for one last look at the Temple of Orido. It glows red in the light of the setting sun, but the shimmering glow is blemished by shadows that swoop back and forth across its stairs. You assume it is just a trick of the twilight, until your ears are filled by a sudden and terrifying shriek. Cranbirds. They won't let us go away so easily, right? You look up to see a squadron of black-winged Kraan come swooping down on the Levitron. On the backs of these leathery creatures ride red-robed Vordax, hideous servants of the Dark Lords of El Jadad. In their skeletal hands they wield staves of black iron which crackle and hiss with sheets of blue fire, which mark them as Vordak Lords. They're fearsome spellcasting elites. As a Kraan screams past, a stream of liquid blue flame pours from the tip of its rider's staff. If you possess the Summer Sword, yep. Maybe that's what the monks did. They summoned the Vordak Lords. You deflect the stream of liquid fire with the edge of your golden blade, sending it raining down into the Danarg. Two more Kraan swoop in and over above the prow. The riders leap onto the deck and begin attacking part of the superstructure. "Stop them!" screams Fido, drawing his sword. "Stop them or we're doomed!" You leap from the bow and run across the main deck, your sun sword raised to strike. Two Vordak Lords both, no, they don't have the same combat skills. So Vordak Lord 1 is better. There's 22 combat skills, so it's a +8 combat ratio. And he has 28 endurance. Sounds like an easy fight. With a +6 combat ratio, we need to roll 3 or better. And I think we can't go above 3 rolls. Seven, 4, 5. $14 against 0. 24 against 2. And dead against another 2, so he lost 4 endurance points. Was there any other information under the stats though? You must fight these creatures one at a time. They're immune to mind blasts. Okay. Unless you possess the Magnakai Discipline of Side Screen, you reduce combat skill by 2. Creature undead. Remember to double endurance points losses. Oh yeah, wow. I forgot that. Oh, and I forgot that as well with the Elgast earlier. So the fight will have been easier with the Elgast. Damn. Okay, right now then it's not +8 combat ratio, but +6. 12 double damage, that's 24. 18, it's dead. We're losing only 2 endurance points. And the other one has 21 combat skill, so we have +7 combat ratio, and he has 26 endurance points. Go with 3 dice again, but that will be way too much. So we rolled 5 before and 7. That's 22 against 2. And it's dead. We lost endurance points again. If you win, more shrieking Vordax crash down on the deck. Fido is immediately engulfed by the red rope figures. He is severely outnumbered, but he fights with a tiger-like tenacity, his blue-bladed sword tearing deep into their loathsome bodies. You're running back across the main deck when a new danger confronts you. A Kran sweeps low across the sky ship, dropping a cluster of black crystal cubes that strike and scatter across the deck. If you have the Magnakai discipline of divination. Yep, I remember though. You sense that these cubes are set to explode. Should one of them cause a tear in the Levitran's pressure tank, the liquid gas stored inside will ignite, and the resulting explosion will tear the skyship to pieces. We can gather up the black cubes and throw them overboard, or help Pido fight off the attackers. We have no choice, we can't help Pido, we need to throw away the cubes. Yeah, I don't see how we can help Baidu. Cubes first. Frantically, you scramble across the deck, snatching up and hurling away the cubes as you go. Each cube is vibrating with an energy that is set to rip it apart, and as you cast the last one over the side, you see the others exploding, with dull booms in the swamp far below. Pido screams for your help. A swooping Kran rider has cast a large net that has smothered his body. The net is sewn with hundreds of tiny barbed hooks that have worked their way into his skin and clothes, and he cannot free himself without the hooks inflicting spiteful wounds. Only one Vordak remains to confront him, all the others having perished on his blade, but he is now unable to defend himself against this creature. He is at the mercy of a merciless foe. You scramble to your feet and rush to save him as the Vordak creeps closer. Suddenly the Kran rider reappears, gliding low across the deck before hovering over the bow. A length of thin black rope dangles from its saddle, and hurriedly the Vordak treads it through the corners of the net. You race up the steps, shouting your battle cry, "For Summerlawn and the Kai!" and launch your attack. The Vordak turns to face you, its skeletal features frozen in a mask of terror. An instant later, your weapon shears through its bony neck and sends its skull-like head spinning down into the Danarg.
A ghastly cry pierces your ears, but it is not a shriek of pain or despair. It is a malicious caw of triumph. The Kran beats its massive wings, and the down draught forces you to your knees as the creature climbs higher into the darkening sky. You stare aghast as the rogue closes the net around Pydo and lifts him off the deck. Instinctively, you leap upward with your hands outstretched to grab the barbed net. However, it is too late. The Kran turns in mid-air and flies off to the north with Pydo, wounded and helpless, swinging like a netted fish below its leathery black belly. Anger and frustration well up inside you as helplessly you watch the Kran and your captured companion disappear beyond the horizon. Gradually, your anger gives way to sadness as you ponder his fate and wonder if he will survive this cruel abduction. You pray for his safety, calling on the spirits of your ancestors to watch over and protect him. And as if in answer to your prayer, you feel a sudden calm engulfs your senses. The power of the lore stone, transfused into your being the instant it appeared in your hands, has greatly increased your intellect and awareness. With confidence, you know that Pydo will survive his ordeal, and that one day you will meet and fight again, side by side. The return voyage to this sea is a swift but lonely journey. The Starguider ensures that the Levitron stays on course for Elgin, and as you cross the canal that encircles the city, a pilot skyship arrives to escort you down. During the voyage, you have discovered how to control the Levitron, and now, as slowly you approach the landing platform of the Tower of Truth, you disengage the Starguider and make a faultless landing. Lord Rimowa and the High Council have gathered to greet your return, and upon hearing of your successful quest, their hopes for the future are renewed in spite of the sad news of Lord Pydo's capture by agents of the Dark Lords. The High Council listens avidly as you tell them of your treacherous journey through Telestria, the perilous trek across the Danarg, and the wondrous discovery of their lost temple. When finally you have completed your account, they applaud you and pay tribute to your courage and daring, their faces beaming with pride. Yet, despite their joyous greeting and wholesome praise, you sense that something is wrong. They seem distant, as if their minds are preoccupied with the solving of a difficult and perplexing problem. You ask Lord Rimowa if all is well, and he replies, "You have grown in perception, lone wolf. Many things have occurred since last we spoke, and although your quest for the lore stone of Forido has succeeded, the peril of our age has grown ever more deadly. The Dark Lords now wage open war throughout Magnamun, and many lands have fallen before their Giak legions. Telestria has been overrun, so too have the Stormland nations. Merlon stands firm against the armies of Darklord Nyag, but she has lost her southern province of Ruanon." The shocking news fills you with an urge to return to your homeland, yet to do so will defeat the Magnakai quest. Lord Rimowa bids you follow him to the chamber of the High Council. Set into the floor is a circular well, brimming with a silvery liquid metal. Rimowa kneels and touches the surface, and slowly a vision takes form within the shimmering depths of the pool. It is a fortified city, surrounded by rolling hills. "We look upon the city of Tau, in the land of Anari," says Rimoai, his voice now solemn and composed. The lore stone you must find next lies deep below its streets, in an ancient city that was built during the dawn of Magnamond. The vision of Tau heralds the start of a new and perilous episode in your urgent quest for the Magnakai. If you possess the bravery and courage of a true Kai Master, the challenge of Tau awaits you in Book 9 of the Lone Wolf series entitled The Cauldron of Fear. Next week, same time, same channel, and happy 40th anniversary of the Lone Wolf series.